Hey there, this is Natalie, and in this video I want to talk about the dark art of turning your friends into weebs. It seems like with every generation of anime fans, there were a couple of shows that were what got a lot of people into the medium. These shows tend to meet certain criteria that make them more accessible to people who haven't yet really been exposed to the things we tend to take for granted that we'll just understand once we're embedded into the anime community. These tend to be shows that don't require you to know anything about Japanese culture, don't need you to be familiar with anime tropes or references to Japanese pop culture in general, and don't have anything that someone new to anime is gonna find too weird or off-putting. Series that have served as big gateways into anime in the past include Death Note, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Sword Art Online, and of course, Attack on Titan. The other route into becoming an anime fan tends to be getting interested in anime due to liking the English dubs of shows aimed at a younger audience when you're a kid. So some people never really had a gateway show that brought them into liking anime as a teen or adult, because they were already into something like Naruto, Dragon Ball or Yu-Gi-Oh! And just moved on to also watching more anime later. But we're not really going to talk about that here, because chances are, if you're thinking about a gateway anime, whether for yourself or a friend you'd like to get into anime, then you or they presumably don't fall into the category of people who were won over by anime and manga as a child. Now, for me, I got into anime when I was already an adult, and the first series that I properly got into, where it was recommended to me by someone much more knowledgeable about anime who wanted to convert me into degenerate weebery, was Attack on Titan. And clearly it worked, because 6 or so years later, I'm a VTuber who makes hour-long videos about obscure ReZero side content. People don't know this about me, but I used to be a real normie. I used to have a blog about soccer of all things. It took me a long time to even give Game of Thrones a chance because, and I quote, "I don't want to watch something that might have orcs and all that nerdy stuff in it." And now I follow Japanese voice actors on Twitter. All it took to set me on the path to, well, I suppose on the one hand you could call it a deep and passionate love for Japanese storytelling and the artistic medium of anime, on the other hand you could call it full degeneracy, was spending one weekend binge watching the first season of Attack on Titan. Now, more shows have come along since the first season of Attack on Titan that have become a new gateway for getting people onto the righteous path. But having rewatched the first season of Attack on Titan last week, with a view to starting to cover it on my channel alongside my usual ReZero content, I'm now more convinced than ever that for a lot of people, Attack on Titan would still be the thing I would recommend to them to get them started. Unless they had a real aversion to violence and gore, in which case I'm not sure why they'd be asking me for recommendations, I would still be way more inclined to try to win them over to anime with Attack on Titan than any show that's come since. There are plenty of other amazing anime that have come out since season 1 of Attack on Titan, but none of them are things I think are as perfect for beginners as Attack on Titan is. ReZero is better when you're already familiar with isekai, and you'll understand Subaru better if you know a bit more about Japanese culture, which is all stuff you'll have plenty of time to pick up by watching a ton of anime once you're already persuaded that that's something you want to do. Great comedy anime like Konosuba, One Punch Man or Kaguya-sama will still be funny to someone new to anime, but not as funny as they'll be later when the tropes and cultural stuff included in the jokes are things you've had more exposure to. You want to already be a bit of a weeb to get the most out of them. My Hero Academia has served as a gateway for a lot of people, but its highly shonen style can make it feel a bit like watching a kids show, which isn't likely to persuade people that there's more to anime than the shonen stuff they might have already seen, like Naruto and so on. The perfect gateway anime to convert your friends then will usually have a fantasy or sci-fi setting that doesn't require you to know much about Japan or otaku culture yet, will have a really strong and compelling story that's as good or better than the highest quality Western media your victim usually consumes, will have excellent production values that really show off how impressive anime can look and sound, to someone who's probably expecting it all to look a bit like the Pokemon anime, and won't have anything people who aren't anime fans yet tend to get sniffy about, like lollies, over-the-top fan service, and, well, the Eromanga sensei type romances. Once someone has started to appreciate anime, they'll get into all kinds of trash and love it just like we all do. But the gateway anime needs to be insidious in how it creeps into their hearts. It needs to be something with finesse and class and quality that will impress them and addict them so much that they'll not be able to wait to start digging around for more anime to watch. And what could fit those criteria better than Attack on Titan? When it comes to other shows that do fit those criteria and are more recent than the first season of Attack on Titan, I think there's a decent argument for Made in Abyss and The Promised Neverland as good gateway anime too, though it's weird how all the stuff I pick is full of horrifying stuff. But with Attack on Titan, you also have the benefit of it being close to ending, in both the manga and the anime. Someone who gets into Attack on Titan now can not only enjoy 3 seasons of something that starts off fantastic and just keeps getting better, can straight away binge their way to finding out the big Erin's basement reveal that we all waited years for, and can then join in the hype of finding out how this story is going to end, whether they choose to get into the manga or stick with just the anime. It's a fantastic time to be obsessed with Attack on Titan, and while season 1 may be 7 years old, I can confirm after just rewatching it that it doesn't look or sound dated at all, so there's really no reason to go for a newer show that has less for them to consume instead. And of course, once they invariably come to you begging for more recommendations of things they can watch after loving Attack on Titan, you can recommend those 2 shows for more dark, mystery-filled things with intense stories, or you can think about stuff that could match more with their other tastes and interests. Everything that comes after the gateway anime can be pretty much tailored to your friend. The second anime I watched after binging Attack on Titan Season 1 as a new baby weeb was actually The Devil is a Part-Timer, in case anyone was wondering. The first seasonal anime I got into and watched as it was being released was Parasite the Maxim, and I'd still highly recommend both of those, but for entirely different reasons. So that's all from me for now. This was a bit different to my usual content where I normally do more analysis type stuff, but I hope you enjoyed it. And please consider subscribing if you are an Attack on Titan fan, because I'll be making plenty of videos about it. Or if you like ReZero, because I already have lots of ReZero content and will be making lots more. Good luck turning your friends into weebs, and I hope to see you again very soon.